It takes dedication.
So do I work every day? Yes, I do, but I love it.
Determination.
The dog's aged a year without any experience.
Grit. True to the spirit of sport.
We're back. We're back and we have snow.
The UP200 Midnight Run and Jack Pine 30 Sled Dog races are back on track. Live from the Delft in downtown Marquette, My UP News starts now. This program is brought to you by Hoover's Auto Body and North Care Network.
Good evening and welcome to downtown Marquette for the return of the UP200. I'm Rebecca Bartolay.
And I'm super excited, Stasek, to be broadcasting here from the historic Delft Bistro on Washington Street, where we're about an hour away from those mushers hitting the road, and we're geeked for sure.
Oh, yes, definitely. We have the whole crew here tonight. You know, it is chilly, but I'm warm with excitement. So Tom Kippen is going to give us the full forecast later in the show, but this is extra special because it's back. The UP200 is back, baby.
Yeah, we've not seen it in 2 years. I mean, Festival of the Sled Dog, great pivot, super fun. But this is what it's all about.
Definitely. And joining us here at the desk is Meg, the volunteer coordinator of the UP200. Meg, how are you doing tonight?
I am frantically excited. This is really, really awesome. We did it.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, we got here. We'll see when everybody gets out, then we can say we did it. But I keep saying we did it.
Yes, yeah, the streets are already starting to get packed. Happy UP200!
Happy UP200!
Yes, and so like you said, you're excited. You know, this whole thing has come together. You know, we put out that call yesterday on My UP Mornings for more volunteers, and
that last minute pivot did it. We got everything covered well. Like, it's not even that it's like, we got everything covered well, and I'm just floored. This community, this entire UP community is showing up just like it always did. So here we are.
Thank you. If you are a volunteer, thank you. And if you know a volunteer, make sure you thank them. Does that normally happen where there's no holes in the docket?
No. This is my third year doing it, and even the first 2 years I had prepped it, and I still had holes as of the Thursday before, and I never got them all completed, and here we are. We're good. We did it.
Yeah, so this is your third year as the volunteer coordinator, but technically first official year with the races.
First year with the races, and there's actually the cool thing, there's a lot of new baby coordinators this year that have signed on for 3 years, but this is our first race. We on several different locations, so it's a fresh face, and we're all breathing very large sighs of relief.
Definitely. And so, you know, we're here at 6 o'clock. The opening ceremonies start at 6:30. They start taking off from the shoe at 7, right?
7, yep.
So
every 2 minutes, we do have a pause to remember team number 111. It was a team that got struck by a vehicle several years ago. So we don't assign that race bib anymore. And that is our pause for number 11, I apologize, Team 11. So we'll have a little bit of a break there and then back up to every 2 minutes, and then our midnight run takes off starting at 8:30.
How many mushers teams do we have?
Sign-ups we have 40, but I do believe there's a couple scratches, so we'll see how many end up leaving the gate.
Excellent. Yeah, and so I know we have, you know, the shoe, it's down the road, kind of by the Mining Journal, right?
Yep, right on that corner of Washington and 4th. Our warming tent, sponsored by NMU, is right there as well, with coffee sponsored by Contrast, which is delicious, and getting me through the rest of the night as I go out to Chatham next. So
yes, excellent. Thank you so much, Meg. We appreciate you being here this morning. I'm so used to us being
She's
on
a morning show, so it counts, but no. I'm going to go make sure we got dog handlers and bag checkers that all know what they're doing, and enjoy. Stay warm.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
You too. Thank you for helping put this on.
Yes, definitely. Yes. So, yeah, and you know, the fun's just getting started. People are walking by. Everyone's bundled up, right, Air?
Yes, absolutely. I've got heat warmers in my shoes. I've got so many layers on. I'm like a very yummy lasagna, which sounds pretty good right now.
Honestly, I had spaghetti for lunch today, so I'm gonna go. I wholeheartedly agree. But yes, we are now. It's just the beginning of our hour-long coverage from downtown Marquette. So much more coming up right after the break.
Yes, after the break, crews were up bright and early this morning, putting all the snow, prepping it for that dog sled dream that's going to be happening tonight.
Yes, and we also have weather coming up with Tom Kippen. Tom, What's the weather forecast looking like for us?
Well, we are waiting on the snow coming on in. Should be here shortly. All of us get in on some snow tonight. Forecast detail coming up here in just a bit. So great to be back in downtown Marquette for the UP200.
Excellent, yes, and we'll be right back with more My UP News after the break.
Welcome back to My UP News. I'm Erin Stasek. We are live at the historic Delft Bistro in downtown Marquette on Washington Street, where we've got the actual UP200 Sled Dog races are about to begin. And Becca, are you excited?
I am, yes. Crews were up right and early this morning, getting ready for it. Take a look at this video shot this morning. Snow started being dumped on Washington Street around 5 a.m. today, so these sled dog teams could do their thing at the starting line. This obviously means the street is closed. Michael Bradford from the Marquette DDA talked to us about a few other ways to prepare for the fun.
If you were planning on bringing dogs tonight, don't bring them downtown. You know, it's a distraction for the mushers and their teams. It's just good to keep them home, especially when it's this cold. So I'd always recommend to keep the dogs home and layers. Because this event goes on for a while, and even with the warm-up parties, it's best to always over-prepare. Upers know this, but I always like to give a warning.
What you can do is stop into many of the downtown businesses to warm up. Right here at the Delft in their Treehouse Lounge, there is live music and a window view of Washington Street. Earlier today, we also talked with the Vice President of Pure Michigan and the CEO of Travel Marquette about the importance of premier events like these.
These unique experiences that we have are so appealing to travelers and really communicates why Pure Michigan is better than the competition, the other states around. It really provides us with the opportunity in the Pure Michigan campaign to celebrate all you can do in winter.
It's wonderful to see all the hard work that all the volunteers have done and all the people with the race and even the mushers, like what it takes for them to get here. So it's really going to be a special time, and we're looking forward to it.
The team with Pure Michigan and Travel Marquette also suggests checking out the other weekend events like Ice Fest in Munising and the Polar Roll, which starts in Ishpeming tomorrow morning.
And of course, a major preparation before takeoff is making sure these dogs are ready to go in top shape before their journey.
Yes, this morning at Riverside Auto in Marquette Township was the veterinarian checks to do their thing and check these dogs before today's races.
We're examining the dogs, primarily the dogs that are going to be in the UP200 and Midnight Run. So they're here. We're going to evaluate several parameters that we're going to monitor at checkpoints during the race to make certain the dogs are adapting to the race conditions. We want to make certain that everyone can compete safely, and so we have mushers coming from different parts of the country. We have some from Canada. We have veterans of this race, we have people new to this race, and we have people that are new to racing in general. So we want to try to keep everyone on the same page, and we don't want the dogs to develop any issues that may be the result of different conditioning or weather conditions where they've been conditioning the dogs prior to the race.
Well, we look forward to it each year. It just means that our community trusts that we can come together and make sure that everybody's taken care of. It means a lot to our staff. We serve a lot of these mushers. We serve a lot of the community members and volunteers. Well, it's exciting. It's like you know, we had to take a break for a couple years, but now we're back, and everybody is remembering how everything runs and remembering the weather that it takes to make it happen, and we've gotten that weather this year.
The vet checks ran from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. this morning, making sure all the dogs were happy and healthy.
My UP Weather is sponsored by Aspirus Health.
Well, morning
Yeah.
and evenings together.
Yeah, happy UP200, Tom.
Air, I am so happy that the UP200 is back downtown.
Yep.
And the dogs are actually going to be going on Washington Street here tonight. First time in 2 years.
No.
No rainstorms beforehand.
Thunderstorms?
None of that.
Okay, I didn't think so.
None of that like last year. And no big rains like 2 years ago.
Right.
So we've had a cold winter and we've had the snow. So our winter weather activities have been as scheduled, on the go, other than No Cayman. And I mean, that was a bummer that got canceled.
Sure.
I'm just so happy that the UP200 is back and the crowds are gathering in downtown Marquette.
It is a very high vibe going on here. Fabulous. Tom, what is in the forecast that has changed from this morning when I was in to what you're seeing tonight?
And what has changed? Not much.
Okay.
What's kind of starting to get my attention is the heavier snow potentially in the higher terrain in Marquette County. And if we can fire up Max 1 back in the control room back in Marquette Township, you can see the snow is starting to invade the western UP. Not too long, we're going to have it here in Marquette. It's not going to be a blizzard or out of control snow, but I think it's just going to add to the feel here for the UP200, so that's great. So as we take a look at the UP200 forecast, yes, that's me in the early 90s in Curtis, Michigan, in the eastern UP when we had the dog sled races go through Curtis and the Manistee Lakes. Temperatures tonight will be in the teens to around 20, but bundle up. Wind chills are going to be in the single digits. As we take a look at what to know, it's UP-wide snow tonight, and then there's still some question marks, but we could see some heavier snow Saturday night in the Marquette, on the higher terrain of Marquette County. All of us get in on the very cold temperatures by Sunday night. Let's take a look at our snow amounts here. For tonight, it is mainly 2 to 4 inches of snow across the UP tonight into lunchtime with some additional amounts, albeit on the lighter side tomorrow afternoon. Watch the Marquette area. You can see those amounts adding on up here from Gwynn to Marquette over to Big Bay. And then we're back to the usual lake effect here as we get into your Sunday night on into Monday in the Keweenaw Peninsula and the snow belts east of Marquette. Teens for tonight, and then tomorrow we're in the 20s, so not as cold, but we're going to be turning colder as we get into Sunday. And we're back to the very cold temperatures with the very low wind chills as well. We're also going to have increasing wind by Saturday night and Sunday, so that may blow around any snow. But as you can see, we're looking at below zero lows starting Sunday night, and some UP spots may just barely get above zero as we head into the daytime on Monday. So winter weather air, hanging on.
I love the snow forecast that you're seeing as well, but be aware those cold Arctic feels are back starting Sunday night for sure.
Yes, definitely.
And I'm going to hop in. I'm going to hop in right now. Hey, everybody. How's it going? We're just a happy family here. Coming up, more special coverage of the UP200. We are highlighting some mushers, and there's one that's a story you're not going to want to miss. Stay with us. Welcome back to our live coverage of the UP200 from downtown Marquette. I'm Rebecca Bartleway. It has been a whole team coverage here tonight to help put a show on together like this. Joining me live here at the desk, the one and only My UP Skylar Perkins is here to tell us about our next story. Skylar?
Thank you, Rebecca. Yes, I've got our first racer spotlight of the night. Mushers have come from around the country for this, and we'll have 9-time champ Ryan Anderson later in the show. But as we asked organizers and other mushers who else we should talk to, we kept getting the same answer. Take a look. Lynn Whitty is something else.
She's crazy is why. She's crazy.
Why are people saying that about you?
Because I retired from teaching like 40 years, and then I said, well, I want to run sled dogs. There is a story. In 2000, I went to Alaska to the Iditarod as a teacher rep. I had never seen a dog race until that January. We went all the way up from Anchorage to Nome. I spent a month. Then from that time on. Did I do crazy things? Yeah, I drove every weekend to go up north to train because that's how I was going to learn. I knew in Metro Detroit it wasn't going to happen. I drove every weekend for 20 years up here just because I wanted to come to on sled dogs. My principal knew me very well and I would always make it. One time I had to call and say, it's so bad, and he says, don't worry, we're canceling school. I met enough people that were from Michigan and they became kind of my best friends and mentored me, and that's the way to get into it, is to run somebody's dogs that maybe aren't, like we call it in the race world, the fastest. Then I bought my own because that was way more fun. Dogs are like people, they have different personalities. And I've had some, I got a couple that are pretty crazy, but they'll run through a brick wall for me. I trust them. When she ran in 2:15 as a young dog in that nasty storm, you know, the next time I ran the Yukon Quest with her and it was 50 below and it was awful. I mean, she was amazing. And I think it was because as a puppy or as a young dog, she learned, like, it'll be okay. And again, it's like a person. Do you trust them? Well, sometimes people say, no, I'm not going to trust you. But I think they learn that. Yeah, people say, are you competitive? I always say, no, I'm not. But when I got into dogs, then I knew I did want to race them too. You know, I coached when I was a teacher. I coached track and cross country, and for me, training them was great. But the benchmark to evaluate was, what are they like when they get with other runners? Sometimes I thought, how do I get faster? You know, how do you speed it up? You can't put a gas pedal on them, right? People say, well, you're light and they can pull you. But yeah, but I had to get them to learn that they had to pull up a hill. Because before that, I was running up the hill and trying to do everything to make them faster. But I wasn't really making them faster. They were looking at me like, you're slowing us down back here. When I taught, did the kids know about it? Of course they knew about it. I used it in the classroom. It was part of my curriculum all year long. And I always gave sled dog rides at school and things like that, just for the kids, everybody. So you think as a second grader, are they going to remember? They do. So do they still follow me? Yes. Some of them will be at the UP200, for example. So that's kind of fun to see. The kids go to Northern now, and so they'll be there. They're going to help volunteer, a couple of them. But they'll say, oh yeah, we remember when. And in a way, that's a really good thing to know. Like, at least it's planted a seed in them. But to do, you know, and maybe they're not going to do it till they're 30, 40, or 50, whatever. They can still do it.
I hear that too. Love that story. Thank you, Skylar. And you know what? I forgot to tell you, Air, happy Valentine's Day.
Girl, you got that covered this morning, but thank you and happy Valentine's Day to you. But my favorite holiday is actually what's going on behind us. It's the UP200. But a shout out to my adorable husband for making some treats for us.
Yeah, he packaged them all by himself too. Shout out to Rob Stasic. All right, we are going to be back with more UP200 fun. After the break, we're going to take a look at tonight's events. Welcome back. We are minutes away from the opening ceremonies of the UP200.
Can't wait.
Yes, the excitement is building up. People are lined up on the street. Woo! Happy UP200, everybody! Woo!
Mush on.
Definitely. And yes, here is the schedule of the rest of the events for the evening. Following open ceremonies is the UP200 teams will start taking off at 7 p.m. Teams will leave the start chute every 2 minutes. The midnight run, that begins around 8:30. And then after that, work will be needed to be done to clear the roads and the streets will reopen for driving at around 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
And one of the dignitaries at the opening ceremonies includes Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist.
Yes, he stopped by our My UP studios this morning to chat with us about what this means to have this event back after a 2-year hiatus.
I'm glad it's back. You know, I've been to every UP200 except one since I've taken office, and we had to do the pivot to the Festival of the Sled Dog the last 2 years, but it was great to land back in the Upper Peninsula and see the kind of snow that we expect and we depend on, you know, frankly, for our economy. We have a 4-season economy. We need this snow to be here so that, people can truly experience this part of pure Michigan. And so to have this dog race back, to have all the economic activity that comes alongside this dog race, the visit visitors who are going to come and they're going to patronize our businesses. They're going to eat at our restaurants. They're going to shop. It's really going to make it a big difference. And so I'm glad to see the dogs are like kind of marathoner dogs, and it's going to be fun.
Stand by. Hey everybody, we are having a blast here. We're halfway through about of our live coverage. How are you two doing?
I am doing excellent. Not even cold.
No.
I'm toasty.
I am not even cold, and it warms my heart here on Valentine's Day to see the streets full in downtown Marquette for the UP200.
Oh, look at that. Tom Kippen, full of love on this beautiful Valentine's Day. Puppy love, in fact.
Oh, Becca. That's a good one. It's positively hilarious.
Yes, so, but I mean, we're having a great time. The streets are filled. People are excited. We got a kid playing in a snowbank.
Come on, Pikachu. Hi, Pikachu. He's working that snow for sure. And
Yes.
we're going to be seeing these mushers get going here.
Yes.
At 7.
Seven.
Opening ceremony.
Yes, it's coming up. I can feel the energy. The shoe, it's a little down the road, kind of by the mining journal, so we can't really see it from here, but that's okay. That's okay. We know it's there.
Heads up though, if you are planning to head down here, be prepared to walk a little bit because parking is very limited.
Definitely, yes. And Tom, any last minute weather advice?
And last minute weather on our My UP weather radar here. If we can take Max one as we do multiple tasks here downtown Marquette here. Thank you to the Dell for having us here as well. And as we look at My UP weather radar, you can see that we do have the snow moving into the UP. We should be getting it into the Marquette area shortly, and that would just add to the atmosphere as we could see the snow move in and just add to the atmosphere of the UP200. Teens to around 20 tonight. If you're coming out either here to downtown Marquette or on the trails in eastern Marquette County and Alger County, dress for the single-digit wind chills.
Excellent. If you're tuning in on JMN, we'll see you back in a couple minutes.
It takes dedication,
So do I work every day? Yes, I do, but I love it.
determination,
The dogs aged a year without any experience.
grit. True to the spirit of sport.
We're back. We're back and we have snow.
The UP200 Midnight Run and Jack Pine 30 Sled Dog races are back on track. Live from the Delft in downtown Marquette, My UP News starts now. This program is brought to you by Hoover's Auto Body and North Care Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are halfway through our hour-long coverage of the UP200 Sled Dog races live from downtown Marquette. I'm Rebecca Bartlemay.
I'm Erin Stasek. Thank you for joining us. We've got the opening ceremony starting very soon.
Yes, I can't hear it, but I'm sure it's kicking off.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, and we are at the historic Delft Bistro. Joining us is Tom, the owner. How are you doing?
Very well. How are y'all?
We're doing great.
It's warm out here, isn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
It's
the
awesome,
smells that
yeah.
are coming from the kitchen there.
Thank you very much.
What's special tonight?
We have a couple of Valentine's specials. Actually, it's dog sleds and Valentine's the same day, so really fun.
Delicious, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And so, I mean, for you guys, you're in the heart of downtown Marquette. You have your marquee up there that says, welcome back, welcome to the UP200. How exciting is this for you guys to have the UP200 Sled Dog races back this year?
It's amazing, really is. The last couple of years have been tough, but this has been really fun to have everybody back. You can see all the activity around. It's really fun to see people who we know and people who we don't know.
Yes.
It's really great. And people have been coming in, and the downtown is very festive tonight.
Definitely. Yes. And I'm sorry, Eric, go ahead.
I was just going to say, earlier I was asking, if there was any way we could broadcast from on top of the marquee, and I was told we probably have to get strapped in like Tom does. So I was like, no. Okay.
We can try.
Okay. Maybe next year.
Yeah, next year. Definitely. And
It's great to be right downtown here too, and your shop right across the street is awesome. You get to do a wonderful job with all your television stuff.
Well, thank you. Yes, and we are just excited to be back down here. Valentine's Day, like you said, you got your specials going on. You got for both events. For people who might not be to the area, you know downtown Marquette, what should people take in this weekend?
There's all sorts of activities. You can be all around skiing, hiking. There's a bike activity tomorrow. There's a big bike race. There's great food all around town. The Delft is really good, but there's all sorts of other great restaurants in town. I would also suggest going down and checking out the lake. It's beautiful. It's frozen over a little bit, and it's really fun to check out. What else can you do around town? There's all sorts of activities. I would maybe even go over to the Peak and do a little activities over there for Northern University.
Right.
Northern Michigan University does a great job of having activities. So,
Yes. What's your favorite thing on your menu?
my favorite thing is cheese curds. I hate to say it.
Why do you hate to say that?
Yeah.
From Wisconsin, really.
Oh, from Wisconsin. Yeah. Okay, we got this. We got this. Yes.
It's all right. Everything else is handmade here. We really make a great job. All the sauces, all the different foods. So.
Yes. Well, okay. Well, I might be checking out the cheese curds after this. So,
Okay.
Tom, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming right here and being in front of the downtown here. And,
yes.
And the dog sleds, I can't wait. They're going to go in a few minutes.
Yes, they definitely are. And yeah, we are very appreciative of you letting us use your space.
Thank you.
And cozy in here.
Yeah, it is. See how warm it is?
Yeah. Yes, we have so much more coverage for you this half hour. Like we mentioned, the opening ceremonies are starting. We can't see it, but we do have a live webcam that we've been taking on top of the Delft.
Yeah,
if we
check it
can
out.
maybe cue it up. I don't know if you guys in production back there can hear me, but it is a cool sight to see these sled dog races. Yep. Before they take off.
Like you can see, if you can see those cameras there, you can see the crowds are really starting to pour in. So if you're planning to head on down here, layer it up, my friends. You're going to get warm with all of the activity, but it's still chilly out. It's winter out
Yes,
for all
this
my
is
friends.
very, very true. And if you do want to see that live webcam, that is on our My UP Now YouTube page. It'll be streaming all night long. So yes, we will have more coverage for you coming up, including your full UP200 forecast after the break.
And welcome back to downtown Marquette underneath the Delft. I'm meteorologist Tim Kippen with my morning show friend, Air Stastic.
It's Air Stastic, and it is not the morning right now.
Yes.
It is very lovely blue out in the sky. And Tom, I'm not really seeing any cloud coverage at the moment. Or
We got the snow on the way, knocking on the door. It's probably that way down the street on Washington Street, trying to get into the city of Marquette. And this isn't a snow that is going to cause us major headaches later tonight, but I think it's just going to add to the feel of the UP200.
I know. I'm really excited that the race is actually back on this year. It's been 2 years since we've seen mushers kicking out that chute every 2 minutes, and that'll kick off at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about. So should be good conditions for those dogs.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, it's comfortable temperatures, I think, for all of us, considering if you're dressed appropriately, but those dogs love the cold, bitter cold temperatures. I mean,
yeah, and they love to run.
Yes, and they fly in the bitter cold temperatures because I've worked out at crossing guard duty out at Buckhorn, and the colder the night is, the fresher the track is, where the track is all groomed up, those dogs just fly. I mean, 2020, they were zooming out, but
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to cry a little bit because I get very excited and emotional about how much training goes into just training a dog in general, but I can't imagine what these mushers have to do with sled dogs.
oh yeah, I mean, it is a full year-round sport, training them and keeping the dogs healthy, and it's, you got to buy them top of the line dog food too. It's not like you're going to the store picking up a bag of dog food. These dogs are like athletes, but on 4 legs, and they got to eat a proper nutrition. So I just props to the mushers and the dog sled teams that are going to be out and about tonight, partaking in the race, and the weather's good for them out there tonight. They're going to have some snow to deal with coming back. It's going to be colder coming back.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how cold is it going to feel for them out there tonight?
Tonight, temperatures will be in the teens. And in fact, let's just go over to Max 1 right now here. If we have Max 1 full, I think, I'm just going to grab our iPad here, and I'm going to cycle through the maps here. And you can see on our My UP weather radar, the snow's incoming right now. And you can see the snow is even just a little bit heavier from the Gwynn area back over to north of Iron River, and then over towards Covington and Kenton. And everybody's going to get in on the snow as we go through the night tonight. As I was mentioning, the air, teens to around 20 with single-digit wind chills later tonight. So if you're coming to downtown Marquette, or if you're going to be out on the trail later on this evening, just make sure you're dressed for it. I mean, we're not looking at below zero lows tonight, but just make sure you're dressed for the winter weather as the dogs are off towards Munising and Wetmore through the night tonight. So it's UP-wide snow tonight with what to know. Tomorrow night, just be aware in the higher terrain of Marquette County, we could see the snow pick up the pace and the snow become heavier. Sunday, it's going to turn colder, and it's going to be very cold by Sunday night with very low wind chills. As we look at our snow amounts here, we're looking at 1 to 3 inches of snow, perhaps 2 to 4 inches of snow in some locations by lunchtime tomorrow. We'll tack on a little bit tomorrow afternoon, but watch Big Bay, Marquette over towards Gwynn. Those numbers are adding on up. That's why I'm wondering if we are going to see the heavier snow develop. It's going to be wait and see by tomorrow night. As we take a look at our temperatures tonight, lows in the teens. Tomorrow we're in the 20s, but watch your Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as I cycle through these 7 days. It will be turning very cold here. 5 for Marquette on Monday, and you can see Escanaba 11. These lows are below zero as well. And then you can see Iron Mountain 7 for a high. Bitter cold at night on Monday night going on into Tuesday. And then for Houghton and the Keweenaw Peninsula, we're going to see the lake effect snow pick the pace back up as we go into your Sunday night, Monday, and on into Tuesday. But we're looking at single-digit highs as we get into the early part of next week.
That sounds like sauna and soup weather, sweater weather for me for sure, and extra quilts. Hey, Becca?
Yes, I'm starting to feel it in the toes. I might need to put my boots on. We are coming back in 2 minutes with more live coverage on the UP200. My UP's Jessica Goska talks with 9-time race champion Ryan Anderson to see how he's prepared for a return to the trails.
My UP Weather is brought to you by Hoover's Auto Body and North Care Network.
Nine-time UP200 race champion Ryan Anderson is back at the race this year after his most recent win in 2022.
And Jessica Goska joins us back in the My UP News studio. She spoke with him earlier during his preparations for the event to learn more about the musher from Minnesota.
Ryan Anderson's whole life has revolved around sled dogs.
My dad had just a crazy inclining to get some sled dogs, or he was always interested in sled dogs when we were young. So there was a family that moved down from Nome, Alaska to my hometown, and they put an ad in the paper. They're looking for local handler help. So my dad went over there, and then soon enough we brought dogs home, and then now we got 10 dogs home, and now it's 12 dogs home, and now it's 20 dogs home, and so then it just kind of grew from there.
The now 9-time UP200 champion completed his first junior 2-dog race at just 5 years old. As he grew up, his passion for the sport grew, and so did his team. For this year's UP200, he trained 18 dogs, but because of weather-related cancellations in recent years, most of those dogs have little to no race experience.
I think I've got maybe 3 dogs that have run the race before. The challenge this year is going to be like 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, when there actually was a race, like a yearling dog that was training all year, he might not have went on the team. Now he's 3 or 4 and he's still never been to the race. That's going to be the trick for everybody involved.
Nearly every musher at the race this year is in the same boat. Their dogs aged without any experience. but they'll come to the race with hundreds of training miles under their belt. Anderson's team completed about 1,700 training miles for this event, though the size of his training team led him to ride many of those miles on a four-wheeler or a snowmobile, not a sled.
And that's going to be part of the hard thing for me this year is, and I'm trying not to get too worked up about it, but most of the competition has been on sleds or is on sleds, and I am not yet. So hopefully it's not a disadvantage, but we'll see.
Despite his lack of sled training ahead of this year's race, Anderson expressed confidence in his UP200 team. No matter what the race outcome, though, the joy of this Mushers experience lies in being a part of an incredible bond.
The relationship that you build with these dogs is pretty incredible. I mean, there's so many memories from the race as far as all the dogs I brought there, and it's just the time spent with them builds this incredible relationship. Everything's getting more and more expensive, like dog food now, like it's $70 a bag for dog food, and we keep doing it. I don't know, like there's obviously a reason we keep doing it.
After a 2-year hiatus, Anderson says he can't wait to hit the UP200 trails once again.
I come back basically because of how the event is run. It's just a great event. There's a lot of community support, a lot of sponsor support. That's what makes it such a great event. The community rallies around it, the whole UP.
And for those event spectators who dream of racing with their own team someday, Anderson offers this advice.
Start with some good dogs and don't push yourself too far too fast. And learn as much as you can. If you need help with anything or have questions with anything, all you got to do is ask. When I was a kid, there was mushers that helped me too.
For My UP News in Marquette, this is Jessica Goska.
Dog sled racing takes part all across the Upper Peninsula. I hear the bells.
Yep, they're getting ready to roll soon. It's 7 o'clock. We are nearing that time. Yes. After the break, we are going to chat on how the Keweenaw Peninsula is gearing up for the Copper Dog sled races.
The UP200 banks on lots of snow, and we've got it this year, Becca.
We definitely do, and we hear the people roaring through, the cowbells, everything is looking great. And also in the Copper Country, the Copper Dog Sled Dog races are coming up at the beginning of March. Our very own Keweenaw Bureau reporter Thomas Fournier has more on that.
Since Copper Dog first arrived to the Keweenaw Peninsula, one of the event's largest sponsors has been the Incredible Bank in Calumet. Recently, Incredible Bank helped Copper Dog kick off its sponsorship drive with a gift of $10,000. Race director Kelly Probst says organizers are grateful for Incredible Bank's support throughout the years, and not just as a financial sponsor.
Their yearly contribution, which has added up to in the neighborhood of $150,000, is a huge deal. And the fact that they don't only sponsor us, but they open their doors to us on Friday, letting us run our vet checks and our race registration. That's a really big operation that they do there. They put out hospitality. It's just very generous of them to allow us to run out of their facility. And then, of course, you see the Incredible Bank team volunteering over the course of the weekend, but most significantly bringing dog teams to the start gate on Friday night.
Incredible Bank's Calumet location provides Copper Dog a large area for volunteers to meet with teams for veterinary check-ins. While Incredible Bank staff help maintain control of the starting gate on Friday night, other nonprofits and businesses will get involved at large road crossings along the trail.
So the most of our signups that we still need are for those bigger road crossings, the late night ones on Friday night and a couple of sporadic ones on Sunday. So the road crossings, really, we do need to get those filled up as soon as possible. We're looking pretty good elsewhere. Fence tear down, that's always a big one too. We need some folks to help us with that on Sunday afternoon. But for right now, it's those road crossings that we have to focus on covering.
Volunteer coordinator Chrissy Tepsa adds that volunteers that have not worked with Copper Dog in the past will have an opportunity to learn about dog handling and the challenges most teams expect at crossings.
So the first hour will be indoors. You'll learn the do's and don'ts of the road crossings. And then the last hour will be dog handling. So Tom Bauer will be there with the kids from the Mushing Club at Michigan Tech. And if you haven't dog handled before, definitely make an attempt to learn how to dog handle. You'll be surprised what those little guys can do.
Copper Dog organizers encourage first-time volunteers, especially those working with dog teams, to attend the Copper Dog training at CLK schools on February 22nd. Those interested in learning more about the race's large road crossing teams can find a full list online. Anyone interested in volunteering with Copper Dog or want to support the race can find information at copperdog150.com. With My UP News in Calumet, this is Thomas Fournier.
We have just a little bit of time left with you tonight.
We'll be back live here from downtown Marquette after the break. We are minutes away from the start of the UP200. Happy UP200! Let me hear you say woo! Yeah! Yes!
We just saw an engagement a little bit ago when we were doing weather, apparently. She said yes, so that's great.
Yeah, so congratulations to them. Puppy love on this Valentine's Day UP200.
So props.
We are so excited. Tom, how are you feeling over there?
I am feeling great. I'm not even that cold.
No.
I'm just filled with warmth, filled with love today on this Valentine's Day that there's thousands of people downtown Marquette, and the UP200 is just about ready to start, and the snow's starting right now.
Excellent. Love it. It's meant to be. And Tom, do you have any last minute weather alerts?
And if we can take Max 1 real quick, I can show you the snow is moving in here into the Marquette area. We're starting to see the snow fly around just a little bit here in downtown Marquette, just adding to the feel. Temperatures as we go into tonight for the UP200 will be in the teens to around 20, but be prepared for some single-digit wind chills.
Excellent. Thank you, Tom. And from all of us here, we just want to say 3, 2, 1, Happy UP200! Thank you for joining us and have a great night.